Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Good morning, and what a morning. Yesterday was a seismic day in Manchester United's history, a day that will not be forgotten by many a Manchester United fan. Being a Mancunian myself and living through the Glazers since they took over in 2005, and what happened yesterday, watching the decline of this football club over the last 17 years under the tenure of the Glazers, it is going to be remembered by many as probably one of the greatest days that this football club has ever had. That's how big it is. It's green and gold all the way here for the United Stand today. This is big. This is real. And this is actually going to happen. You just look at the reports from when this was broke last night by Sky News, then taken over by Sky Sports News. Everybody who's anybody was taken aback by what happened. This is how significant this is. The world of football stood still yesterday when this news broke. The World Cup is on right now and nobody is talking about the World Cup. Everybody is talking about Manchester United. What is going to happen? First of all, we got the news about Cristiano Ronaldo. People would have said, look, it's because of Cristiano Ronaldo that this has all happened now. I'll get into that in a minute. I want to get your comments on this as well, because this is a day for all of us United fans, everybody. Get your comments in. Let me know what you feel. Let me know what you're feeling right now. It's the morning after the news that broke last night, and it just feels like, even though it's absolutely lashing it down outside in Manchester today, it feels like there is a buzz in the air. There is excitement in the air in Manchester. And if you're a Manchester United fan today, will feel amazing, like it does for me right now. I'm a little bit under the weather myself, but news like this is enough to cheer any Manchester United fan up at the moment. You only have to look at the stories, you only have to look at the reports that are coming out right now. We've got plenty to go through. You can look through all of these on the United Stand Twitter feed as well, everybody, because they're all there. I mean, even leading with Alex Crook from TalkSport this morning, saying that this could get done very, very quickly. The Glazers would not have gone into this if they didn't think that the club could be sold. They added an extra $400 million onto the value of Manchester United last night with the news when the stock price went up. I think it was 17% it went up by. Absolutely amazing what is going on right now. And like I said, the world of football stood still last night when this news broke. And every United fan woke up this morning thinking, was that just a dream last night? That's literally how it feels. Is this real? Is this actually happening right now? Well, people, this is genuine. This is real. Manchester United actually came out, and yesterday was a weird day. Yesterday, it just went from the Cristiano Ronaldo news and him officially being his contract being terminated by the football club, and United acting and being quick and dealing with this situation, to 30 minutes later, an announcement coming out of Sky News, then on Sky Sports News and every other sports broadcaster after that, for then Manchester United themselves to release a statement to say that this is genuine. Manchester United are looking for investment, but would not be put back to actually selling the football club. That's where we're at with everything right now. And to be fair, I think Manchester United for sale, it's enough to stop the world turning in terms of football circles, and that's exactly what's happened. I'm just going to try and get through as many of your super chats as possible and chats as we go through this morning. Obviously, excitement levels are up to a different scale. Hello to everyone in the chat. Cheers for joining us this morning. Let's get into it. I mean, Alex Crook was the first one there. I was listening to it coming in this morning. Again, like an excited United fan, you have to try and be professional about how you put these things across, but being a United fan and feeling what I'm feeling this morning, it's hard not to feel happy and excited and just a little bit like, oh wow, what is going to happen? It's like it feels like Manchester United all of a sudden have been released from the shackles. That's how it feels. And I know this deal isn't done yet, but we're talking here that the Glazers will be trying to look to try and get Manchester United sold before Christmas. This is how quick that this could actually get done. United don't release statements like this. Sky News do not get their reporter and chief reporter who leaked this story out in Manchester ready to talk to Sky Sports News. They don't get all of this in place to actually happen. And then for the announcement from the football club itself to actually come out straight after it tells you exactly how quickly we think this is going to move. you look at it and you go, right, okay, how does this work now? So Manchester United have instructed the Rain Group, who obviously were in charge of Todd Bowley's purchase of Chelsea. So they will effectively have a dossier, a list of possible investors to come into Manchester United from that Chelsea deal. So they will look at it and go, we've already got people that are looking to invest into the Premier League, and the biggest commodity, the biggest football club in the world, not just the Premier League, has just come up for sale. So the Rain Group are actually in a position right now where you would say they know a lot of people already that are looking to invest in Manchester United. They know a lot of people that have got the money to actually purchase Manchester United. And this is why I think everyone's reporting on this, as this could actually go through quite quickly and could be done before Christmas. I know that seems like a bit of an ask, and it is the greatest Christmas present for all Manchester United fans. I mean, I'd take nothing this Christmas but a sale of Manchester United and the Glazers out the door. I'm sure everyone in the comment section, every Manchester United fan around the world would be pretty much on that level. Super chat in here. Carmine says, hey man, have you read Sir Jim's stance on buying our club on the Mirror? I mean, the United Stand actually approached Sir Jim Radcliffe on this, and it was a return of no comment just at the moment. But this is what's going to happen now. All parties are going to start being leaked. People are going to start being contacted, obviously by the Rain Group, like we've said. And, well, who has got the money? Who has got the reported, what, 6-7 billion that it is going to cost to purchase Manchester United? Who has got that extra, probably, what, half a billion to invest in the squad? Maybe another billion to invest in the stadium if you're changing the stadium. This is a lot of money, and this is going to take a purchase that isn't just actually giving the Glazers what they want. The United fans will want reassurances that this purchase actually comes with a plan for future investment into the football club as well. Loads of super chats coming in right now. I'm just going to read through a few of these for you guys. Daniel Kirk, how are you doing? Hope you're well. Adam, if we get new owners, do you think they will sack Eric? We saw Bowley wanted his own manager. I really think Eric should be our long-term manager. I think Eric Ten Hag is rubbing his hands together right now, Daniel. I don't think anyone would be looking to change the management setup at Manchester United at all. Second and third richest man, Mr. Arnold, Mr. Adani, I'm not sure. I mean, the Rain Group are the ones that are in charge of this now in terms of the investors coming in. It's down to them, and like I said, for their own reasons, they'll be wanting to speed this up and take what they can from this, because they will obviously be winning from this as well. They're probably rubbing their hands together right now. Manchester United's commercial draw that brings in these investors, I think will speed this up even more. This isn't, with no disrespect to Chelsea, like a modern club that Chelsea are. This is a juggernaut of the Premier League. This is a juggernaut of world football. Manchester United will be a significant investment for any investor, and looking at it, you cannot say no to Manchester United. This is the thing, what it brings and what you can actually make on your investment in buying Manchester United appeals to so many more people, and I think this is where it gets exciting for United, because I don't think it'll be just one or two people interested in Manchester United. Now that they're officially up for sale, this opens up a whole different world, and I think this is where everyone's looking at it going, well, yeah, this actually, now that the club have announced it, will move quite quickly. It's something that we normally see take quite a long time, but with the people that are in charge of this purchase now, I can see this moving very, very quickly. This is surreal. I hope it happens really soon and we get owners who are Manchester United fans and would like to see us reach the top of the food chain again. That's a super chat in there from Karan. Cheers for that. A few more I just want to try and read through before we move on. I've just lost them now because there is that many of them. Brace for United, Ronaldo and Glazer out. That is, I mean, what a day. Like I said, what an absolute day. This is, like I said, Sky Sports News were reporting it yesterday. Cave was on from over in Doha, from reporting on the World Cup, saying Manchester United already now are on the market and people are looking into this. It's going to take obviously the significant amount of money to buy Manchester United, but this is actually going to happen. This is got to a stage now where, like we've said, we've wanted this for so many years. We've protested. We've had what? How many protests that I can remember over the last few years? The Super League, everything like that. I think it's just got to a stage now, and I think the American ownership of the American side ownership of things has just got to a stage where I think it's hit its ceiling, and I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. Because you look at Liverpool up for sale now, you look at Manchester United, the two biggest clubs in world football, arguably, both up for sale at the same time, both with American ownership. You look at it and go, has it actually now got to a stage where they cannot make any more money out of it? Was that Super League the final nail in the coffin? Not being able to get that full investment, was that the final nail in the coffin for this American ownership style setup? And you look at it and you go, well, obviously it quite clearly is, because Liverpool being up for sale and then a couple of weeks later Manchester United going up for sale, you go, well, that looks positive for us. It does, because you're looking at the push for that Super League was mainly from the American ownership teams. Obviously you had Arsenal and you had Liverpool, you had Manchester United, they were spearheading the whole Super League. It was absolutely crazy. So for me, I look at that and I go, it does now seem like we have got to a stage where that style of, like I said before, that style of American franchise, sporting franchise, it's just gone. It's gone to a stage where it can't make any more money. They've rinsed every single penny out of Manchester United, the Glazers especially. And you look forward and you go, well, what else is there left for them? There's nothing. There is physically no more money that can be made out of Manchester United. I've spoken on many shows before and I've said the sponsorship deals are dwindling. You're not getting as much money. The shirt deals are not getting any more. We're looking at, if we don't make the Champions League now, that the Adidas deal goes down by 25%. So the money that's coming in, the money that the Glazers can rinse out of Manchester United has completely dried up now. And you look at it and you go, this is why I think that we are looking for new ownerships. I've got people talking in my ear that I don't think have realised they've not turned their mic off. So hopefully they can turn it off for me, please, somebody. Having two conversations at once, but yeah, that's cleared that up. But yeah, looking at this now, I mean, what will be, and as fans we can only look at it from the outside and hope that this gets done quickly. We can hope that the right ownership model comes in. This isn't a case of just like someone coming in now and just buying Manchester United and everyone's happy. There needs to be a structure in this. If it's a consortium, if it's a sovereign fund or anything like that that comes in and buys Manchester United now, it needs to have the right structure. It needs to have a plan in place. It's not just about getting the Glazers out. That is great and is fine on its own, but you do need, and we do need as supporters, to see a plan. We need to be involved in what goes forward with Manchester United, and we need to be involved in some form of the decision making, especially when it comes down to investment within the football club. Like I said before, there is a lot of investment just to buy United, but a lot that needs to go into the club once the purchase has gone through. The stadium, the training ground, the playing staff, it all needs massive, massive investment. And I think it's important that whoever does come in now, and I think the club looking at it will look at it from the mistakes that they've made before in not involving the fans. The fans have to have a say in this. There has to be something put in place, whereas Manchester United fans are involved in major decisions within the football club, at least consulted in this going forward. And I think that is the biggest thing in all of this. The money is there. There is someone who will actually buy Manchester United. But I'll keep saying it now, we don't want to fall into the same trap again. Yeah, you can be rich and you can make a lot of money out of Manchester United, but we are looking at it as an owner coming in. We need someone who's going to stabilise Manchester United, put that structure in place, and give us an idea of where we are going moving forward with the football club, because that's what's important for everyone. New ownership can lure high-profile players, says Shabazz. Yes, it can. Carrying with another super chat. Adam, I think it has got to do with the impending depression in the US next year. Economically, USA will suffer for years to come. The price from the pound to the dollar makes everything. You can look into the financial side of this and all the jargon that comes with it and go right into detail on it. There is a lot of areas which come, when you put all down on the table, would lead to the decision that Manchester United is being sold. That is right. There are a lot of factors involved in this. And I do believe that they're all coming together at exactly the same time. And it's, like I said, in the way the world is and the economic crisis that's going on right now, it's not nice. But a silver lining is that it's forced the Glazers to start thinking that they cannot make any more from Manchester United, and it is time to cash in their chips and sell Manchester United. It's good for us, the fans, and it's good for the club going forward. We need that stability, and we need to be back at the top table where we have been missing. You could say since Sir Alex Ferguson left, he carried the Glazers for a long time, and since then it has been a downward spiral completely. Needing Abramovich without ties, passionate and rich, says Shamir. What type of ownership do you want, guys? Let me know in the comment section. What type of ownership do you want? Do you want like the Newcastle, the Arab model? Do we need an investment group, a consortium? Would you be against another American ownership if it was run better? I mean, this is open to quite a few different people. There's a Sir Jim Radcliffe. The Red Knights, are they going to come back to the table now? Everyone is obviously looking at this morning and going, right, what can we do? What can we put together now? And like I said, that Rain Group now will be looking at absolutely everyone and going, okay, I'm guessing we have, like I said before at the start of this show, a dossier of ownership models that have the right investment in place to come into the Premier League. This is from the Chelsea sale, so now you're looking at Manchester United, maybe 2 or 3 billion more. Crazy to think of these sorts of numbers, but this is where we're at right now. A sale before Christmas, like I said, that would be lovely. But to be fair, if it happened next year, or if I just knew that this was happening, I would easily and comfortably sit it out. I'm not too bothered if it happens before Christmas or not. Just knowing that this is serious is big enough for me, and is enough for me to actually go, the club has finally got what, the fans have got what we wanted. The club is being sold, and the Glazers are leaving Manchester United, and hopefully someone coming in will have the fans at heart, will want to push the sports side of things forward more, want to put us back on that top table in facilities, in teams, in winning trophies. That's what's important with this football club right now, and I think is, like I said before, the most important thing in whoever takes over Manchester United, that has to be made clear before they accept any offer, and I'm sure that will be at the forefront of the club's thought process in terms of who takes over Manchester United. Going to be incredibly interesting. I mean, like I said at the start, yesterday when the news broke about Ronaldo first, a lot of people have looked on this and gone, it was Ronaldo that sort of triggered all of this. People were sending me tweets yesterday saying, you're welcome with Ronaldo wink gif going on. It was just, do you know what? Ronaldo was one part of this, a small part, but it would be very gullible to think if Ronaldo was the main reason that this happened. You would be. It wasn't. This was 17 years of hard graft and work by a lot of fan groups, a lot of Manchester United fans that had given up on the football club, people that walked away, FC United, things like this. This is what has brought this today. And the continuous push from different supporters groups, like I said, different fan groups from Manchester United, from all over the world, not just here in Manchester, to push the Glazers out. This is what it is. It isn't one man in Ronaldo. Ronaldo highlighted it, and his profile did probably put it on another scale. It leads to the question as, was this all scripted from Ronaldo's side for what he wanted? Was this the perfect opportunity for the football club to actually just come in and say, you know what, we're just going to cut all ties with Ronaldo without without wanting any sort of sell-on fee. We've had enough. We're selling the football club. This is it. We're just moving forward now. It was an absolutely crazy day yesterday, and to be fair, all United fans, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this isn't real and it is just a dream still. You're still rubbing your eyes right now at 9:20 on this Wednesday morning going, is this actually happening? Yeah, you can be forgiven for that. That's what it feels like right now. That's what it feels inside me. I've still got that horrible feeling inside that this is just a smokescreen again and this won't happen. But you only have to look at the stories coming out. You only have to look at the people that are talking, and it is actually genuine. And I keep going back to it, and I keep finding myself going back into this full-on like excited fan mode of going, the Glazers are leaving Manchester United. That's what is massive right now. For a World Cup to stop dead and everyone at a World Cup to stop talking about what's actually going on in the biggest tournament and the most watched tournament in sport, to talk about Manchester United shows you exactly how important this day is. Yesterday was monumental, and for United fans, I'm just going to say it again, I'm just going to keep saying it through the whole show, I'm just going to say it, it's happening. The Glazers are looking to sell Manchester United. Just clip that and just let that sink in. The Glazers are looking to leave Manchester United. We're going to have new ownership at the football club. That is all that matters right now in Manchester United's eyes. Yesterday, the only news that could have topped Ronaldo leaving and Manchester United terminating a player's contract of Ronaldo's stature, the only news that could eclipse that is this, which is the Glazers leaving Manchester United. That is what, that is how crazy yesterday was. I remember sat here watching the Mexico game against Poland, and the Ronaldo news broke. Then literally as we're driving home, the Glazer news broke. It was like, what is going on? And everyone started jumping on it and reporting on it. Still had that feeling like, no, they're just winding us up. They're surely just winding us up. This cannot be happening at all. It's happened. It's happened. And going forward, you look at it, all right, let's start making plans. What do we want? What's going to be better? What can we expect once the Glazers leave the football club? Well, one thing you can expect is, hopefully, investment into the infrastructure of the football club. The questions are going to come up about the stadium straight away. Can we expect money to be invested in that? It all comes down to the person who actually buys, or the people that buy Manchester United. Like I said, if it's a consortium, there are very few people on this planet that have that sort of money. It probably, I would guess, is going to be more in terms of like an investment sort of group that come and buy Manchester United. And I've seen messages coming through on the chat on this video. It has to be the Arab sort of ownership. We have to be like Newcastle and Manchester City. It's the only way we can bridge that gap, is if that sort of investment comes into Manchester United, where you have got that open checkbook when needed. Manchester United don't need the Arab ownership. We are self-sufficient and we will make enough money to buy our own players, invest in the football club. The problem we had was the Glazers straddled the club with debt, which pretty much took that extra bit of investment away from the football club. Yes, we can talk about the failures of people that were in power at Manchester United, like Ronaldo did. That was one part that I agreed with. And I said in them Cristiano Ronaldo interviews, he wasn't so much going in on the Glazers. There was that moment which everybody keeps going back to when it was clipped up about the Glazers don't care about the football club, when Ronaldo was talking to Piers Morgan. But ultimately, at the main brunt of that interview, he said it was the people that had the power at Manchester United that were the problem. They were the ones that he said were trying to force him out of the football club. They were the ones that were thinking of themselves and the money. That is the problem with Manchester United. The Glazers, what was it, 1.2 billion they invested in playing staff since Sir Alex Ferguson left, probably more after this summer, you could say, creeping up to possibly around about 1.5 billion. If you can't make a football team out of that in a 10-year span, then there's something wrong with the infrastructure of the football club and it's not being run right, it's not being scouted right, the players that we're bringing in, the wage structure that these players are on. There's obviously an issue with the model that is Manchester United and how we work. And that's what needs to be changed. An overhaul, it would be very, very interesting if someone does come in, and this is where a lot of people are going to be looking at Manchester United now. Once the new ownership takes charge, then you look at it and go, okay, does that mean that people in certain positions within the football club start changing as well? Do we start getting a director of football in place? Do we start putting a structure in from top to bottom? This is what I meant at the start when I said it's not just about someone buying the Glazers out and someone else coming in and the debt's being cleared. That's great, and that's what this club needs. It can be self-sufficient, but it's about what that ownership does in terms of the model of Manchester United and how much it changes above the manager. The steps going up, all the way up to the ownership, to the boardroom and past. Are you bothered if it's a silent owner who just lets the club run well? This is what probably works best for Manchester United. Are we going to have the same people in power once the new ownership takes charge? That's, I think, above anything else, the big question to ask in all of this. I think, are we going to have people that have failed at this football club? Because let's be honest, they have. It hasn't just been the Glazers that have failed this football club. It's the people that they have employed at this football club. I'm going to try and read the super chats just as we go through, guys. Bear with me. Rick Walks says, this will be the greatest news for the club if this actually materialised. I said it before, I totally agree. This is the biggest news in Manchester United's history. That's how big this day is. And you put everything in to what has happened over the last 2 days. The news with Ronaldo, the news with the ownership, the actual genuine side of this actually happening. Because we've heard this before, we've had the false dawns, we've had investment groups come forward. I remember the Red Knights days, like I said before. You've had Sir Jim Radcliffe come through. It is one of them. We've never really believed in it. We've hoped deep down as fans, we've hoped that this is actually going to come to fruition and something will happen. But this is different. This is genuine Manchester United statement from the club itself saying that we are up for sale. Now, you can only imagine what's going on behind the scenes right now at the football club. And like I said then just a second ago, it's like people in positions are now looking at it going, oh, hang on a minute. It's like, does that mean that my job's up? My job's at risk now? Are the directors, are the people on board level now thinking, does this come in as a complete overhaul? This is what's important. Manchester United needs someone to come in who has got the club's interest at heart and wants to restructure the whole setup from top to bottom. That's what's important. It's not a case of like, oh, there's the debt gone, like I said. Just put in the right amount of money and let the same people that are working at the football club now carry on doing what they're doing. It can't work like that. It cannot work like that. The whole model needs changing. Manchester City did it when they were bought, and they brought in players at first. They invested in the training ground. They invested in the stadium. They invested in the staff above their manager, and eventually, year after year after year, bit by bit, they just built a club which is hard to compete with. Jurgen Klopp goes on about it all the time. He says you cannot compete with Manchester City. It's like an open checkbook. But they built their way to get into that stage by investing gradually and investing in the infrastructure of the football club, the training grounds, the sister teams that they've brought from all over the world, the facilities around the stadium. Actually then being able to turn, and yeah, there are subjects you can bring up in terms of how corrupt it might have been and sort of how they've jumped and found loopholes in the system to try and get past financial fair play. They've been punished for that in the past, and yes, that was probably the risk that they were willing to take Manchester City to the top. Manchester United are already there. We do not need them loopholes. Manchester United's structure is there. The commercial side of this football club is easy for someone who knows what they're doing in the sports industry to come in and make Manchester United massive again. We don't need to do what Manchester City did. We don't need to bend the rules. Manchester United, as a football club commercially, and what we used to be like on the pitch, are already there. It's people who know what they're doing just needs to come into this football club and take charge and run it for what it is, which is a massive, massive sports franchise, which can be the biggest in the world. It should be the biggest in the world right now. We've fallen down the pecking order, but Manchester United can be that juggernaut again, as long as that structure comes in with the new ownership. That's what's important above anything else in this in this wholesale going through. Gurav, cheers for the super chat. I was going to bring in a few more right now. Let's see how you guys are feeling. Graham, timing of the announcement at the start of the World Cup in the Arab nation, football fever at its peak. Coincidence? I think not. Rolling down the Arab sort of ownership model there. I think that's where Graham's going with that one. Ian says, I'm buzzing right now. I didn't think this day would come. Can't wait to come back to Old Trafford. Is Bellingham a real option now in the summer? If United make top 4, Bellingham is definitely an option for us. Glenn's in with another super chat. It's interesting that Radcliffe said he lost interest in getting a Premier League club because no value. Why not put out a repeat of that statement? No comment. Well, that's it. Like I said before, if you are just tuning in to the show right now, United Stand reached out to Jim Radcliffe's group. There was no comment coming from that area at this time. That's all going to start changing over the next couple of days right now. People are going to start coming out of the woodwork in terms of possible ownership models for Manchester United. People are going to start throwing their name in the hat. This is what's going to happen now over the next few days and going forward. We are in a position where if that investment is there, the money is there to cover everything that the Glazers want, then this could be quite a quick move. Everything is in place. The Glazers are not the Glazers are not going to turn down the right money if it comes their way. That's what's important right now, and that's what we have to look at as the difference this time in Manchester United possibly being taken over. This is what's important going forward. Once that money is in place, the Glazers will move aside, and then we can see what model, and I don't think we will find out until the purchase has actually gone through what the plan will actually be. No one's going to actually come out, I don't think, and say what they are going to do for Manchester United before they buy them. I don't think it's going to work that way. I may be wrong. You could see people saying we will do this, we will do that, invest in this and that. Will they try and get the fans on side, try and get the fan support? Because we've seen over the last 10 years how strong the Manchester United fan base is. Manchester United fans took one for world football when they did what they did in cancelling and getting that Liverpool game cancelled. That's how strong it was. Manchester United made a statement, the fans made a statement that day in stopping that game going ahead. That sent shockwaves around world football on its own. And that I do believe, and I said this, I remember saying this earlier on in the season, I said that was the kick, I think. That was the final nail. And I think things have been going on behind the scenes since that day when the Super League failed for a get out for the Glazers and a move on, because they needed that full financial commitment. They wanted that no relegation, that no fear of losing, still getting the same amount of money and getting all the rights and the sponsorships in, the endorsements without winning. That's what it was all about. The American franchise sports model was what the Glazers and a lot of the other American-owned football clubs wanted. And it's changed. It's fully changed now because we've hit our ceiling with, I think, Premier League. I don't think Manchester United can get any higher in terms of value. I said this before, I don't think the Glazers can get any more money out of the football club, and that's why this has come about now. So, you look at it and you go, what's next? That's it. It's the unknown right now for all Manchester United fans. We're all just trying to come to terms with the fact that the Glazers are going to be leaving Manchester United. We actually don't know. It's the unknown of what happens next right now. We got so used to being let down and feeling like this club wasn't going where it needed to and was being hampered by the ownership. Now we're in a place where we're like, wow, we actually do not know what is going to happen next. It's exciting, but I can still feel a little bit anxious about who is going to come into the football club, because we could have a similar sort of model to the Glazers coming in. The Glazers are going to work to the highest bidder. They're not going to be bothered who buys United as long as they've got their money. So as good as this is, you still got to look at it and go, there is that little anxiety factor about it, because you just don't know who is going to come in and buy Manchester United. Who is in charge of the sale? If the Glazers want a certain amount of money and say a model similar to what the Glazers were doing, they wanted to finance a little bit of it with the club, the Glazers aren't going to be bothered as long as they get the money in their pocket. So, like I said, as long as they're happy, they're not going to be asked about what comes through the door at Manchester United. They're gone. So for United fans right now, as good as this news is, we still have to have our guard up to who comes through the football club, and why I said before it is so important that Manchester United fans have a say in what goes forward and the ownership that comes into this football club. The fans have to have a say, and that model has to be put in as part of the new structure of this football club. And I hope we do. I hope there is that side from the football club that's got that in mind, and we are going to be part of our football club again, because the last 17 years we haven't. We've been frozen out. The Glazers said it themselves. What did they call us with the Super League? The certain fans. They wanted the new age fans in, the ones that were just going to sit there and not be bothered about what they were watching. It was just a show. I can't remember what they categorised us as now. It was when the Super League came and they called us like a generation fan or something like that. It was the biggest insult to all Manchester United fans that you could get. It was ridiculous. And that for me said everything. That was enough. That was just beyond for me personally. And I still remember being outside Old Trafford in the protests when they were going on. I just could not believe. And it just felt good that the fan base came together that day and has come since then. One thing that the Glazers have done over the last couple of years is actually reunite Manchester United's fan base, because it has been divided through many years now. Different groups, different supporters groups going one way. I know a lot going the other way. No one agreeing. People wanting to take credit for what they've done and not accepting or not giving credit for something that another group has done. It needed to be as one, and I think the Glazers have forced the hand of all Manchester United fans going forward to say, we need to come together and stop this, and that's where we're at right now. This is a top quality show, Adam. Well done. Cheers for that, mate. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, that's where we're at now. So you open your eyes, and I know a lot of United fans will be looking at this now, well, does that mean we can go out and buy players that we want? I mean, to be honest, we've done this anyway in terms of players. That's not important. What is important is the infrastructure of Manchester United and the investment in that. Manchester United, over the years, developed players. We had the youth set up. We had the best youth teams coming through. We made superstars. I've said this so many times. Manchester United made superstars. We didn't buy them in. Sir Alex Ferguson bought in a certain player that fitted into what he was building at Manchester United, a long-term strategy. And someone said, I think it was Daniel Kirk in the super chat earlier in this show, do you think Erik ten Hag's position as Manchester United manager will be in threat? With new ownership coming in, possibly want to bring their own manager in. This is important, I think, and a bit of the unknown of how this is going to process and go forward now with a football club, I think, for a lot of United fans. It's like, what does this mean? We've all wanted it and all called for it, but ultimately, we don't know enough about it, and we're not confident in saying this is going to be great. There is that element of doubt still there, and we need to know, and we need reassurances that the ownership model coming in is going to be right for this football club. Who is in charge of picking that? Did the club have a say? Like I said, how much influence have the Glazers got in terms of who comes into the football club? Because, like I said, they are, in the end, the ones that are going to say, yeah, we'll accept this offer. Is there anyone else inside the club that are going to say, this is what we need more than this ownership model? That's the worrying thing right now for me, the fact that the Glazers just want their money. As good as it is the Glazers coming out, they're still going to take the best offer. Whether or not that is the best offer for Manchester United is a different story altogether, and is where we start going, we don't want to be going down the same road again. A couple of super chats just before we finish up. Everyone has to go. The chefs can stay. James Lloyd. I think Ronaldo, lovely people, he said. Lovely people, the chefs at Manchester United. It's a happy day, isn't it? It is one of them. It's like, still the concerns that I've got there and talking about this, and when you dig deep into it, you go, yeah, it's great. I've still got like that little bit of doubt that this might still not happen, but we have to make sure we get the right ownership. Are we going to get a Glazer Part 2 coming in? The worries and all that are there, but today still just feels good to be a Manchester United fan. It just feels like, years and years and years of torment, hurt, anguish, being taken for a ride, basically, by this football club, being taken for granted. I know I've felt it as a fan before, in terms of like the ticketing prices, moving fans around the stadium, just being a season ticket holder and them saying freezing the season tickets for so many years in a row is what's important. We're not taking any more money out of the fans, but the shirts going up in price, the food inside the stadium goes up every single year. Do you know what it's like? It just feels today like a lot has come to an end. And I know it has to happen. It's still got to go through, and we do need this offer to get there. But it's a big, big day for all Manchester United fans. And dry your eyes, wipe your eyes, wake up. If you're just pulling up out of bed now and you're going, did I dream that last night? Well, no, you didn't. Manchester United released a statement last night saying that this football club is up for sale. They're looking for new investors. The Glazers have got one foot out of the door, everybody, and that's how I'm going to finish the show. Just take that and go away the rest of your day and just be happy, because that's where we're at right now as a fan base. Let's do it. Let's move past this. It's a long road ahead still, and we've got a lot to do, but this has been a massive day, and the future looks a lot brighter than what it was. Guys, cheers for watching. Thanks for staying with us. We had a couple of technical issues early doors there and was a little bit late coming on, but cheers everybody for tuning in. All the super chats. Be happy. Manchester United are being sold. The Glazers are on the way out. That's what's important. Cheers for watching, everybody. Like, share and subscribe to the United Stand. I'll be flying across now to do my World Cup work on That's Football. Me and Jordan are covering the Croatia and Morocco game, so do come over and join us there. I think we'll have a little chat about the Glazers there as well while we're sat here supping on our waters, watching some World Cup football. All good stuff. Cheers for watching, everybody. We'll see you over on That's Football.